How's
Doing
everybody?
well.
Hello.
Hi there.
Good.
We have a special guest with us today. We've specifically called in Peyton because we thought we would talk about creativity, and we can't talk about creativity without our local creative, our native creative for us. But there's a lot that I've been reading that talks about just the benefits of creativity and how it helps with burnout and how it helps with stress and anxiety. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk about. So, ladies, what do you guys do for a break and to be creative?
I think I personally, I try a lot of different things. I like a lot of different, whether it's like gardening or baking and decorating or trying a new recipe, painting. I like doing anything just to stop everything that I'm doing and just do something that's kind of relaxing and that I know I can just let go while I'm doing it.
Mhm. I agree with Melissa. I anything I can get my hands on, some markers, some colored pencils. I do a lot of painting. But anything that kind of I feel like creativity kind of like slows everything down and it lets you like drop into your body a little bit more. So I find creativity to be a game changer for my personal anxiety. Like if I'm feeling a little bit all over the place, I'll grab like my pack of markers and kind of just like sit and get lost in the painting and then I'm not so worried about something that I couldn't control anyways. So I think creativity and so ever since I started getting more creative, now I'm like, it's contagious. I'm trying to get everybody more creative. I'm like, here, mom, like get the markers out.
You've been very
So I think it's
inspirational
just the
with us.
best.
I do feel like, yeah, I do feel like it's rubbed off. Like I have
That's what I'm
that
trying to do.
drawing that you made me of the like with the cat on my refrigerator, and then I'll start sketching, and my kids are like, "Oh,
Hmm.
is that because of your friend? Is that because of your friend?" So you have
Oh,
rubbed off on us for sure. Um,
oh, I love that. I know I
Um,
have friends that they used to be like,
that's
let's go to the
way
bar.
better
Now
than
they're like, what if I
yeah,
just came over and we painted? I'm like, that sounds
yeah.
perfect.
I'm not
That's so
artsy,
for
so like
me.
my creative outlets aren't
So I love
necessarily
doing
like painting or that kind of stuff, but I love to cook. So I
that.
find myself like in the kitchen a lot when I'm stressed, making things and trying new things and that kind of stuff. And I write. So that's another like creative outlet for me that's maybe not,
Mhm.
as artsy, but I've always wanted to write. So I write fiction when I'm stressed kind of just to try to escape out of you know, my chaotic life.
That
I
that
am
is so.
I
Are
am a
you writing
short
in one
story
world, or
writer,
you
like
like
a
you just kind of write
73
a bunch of
pager
different
at a
fiction?
time kind of person. I don't know where 73 came from, but like not quite 100 pages and all kinds of things. I write all kinds of things. I was on like a space kick for a while. I was on like a werewolf kick for a while. Just no one ever sees it. It just gets it out of my head.
I love I love that.
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I really like that idea. And I love that you guys brought up this idea of like cooking and like trying different
Mhm.
recipes and stuff because I think that for some of us it's hard to find like extra time in a day.
Mhm.
So if you can find ways of working creativity into your life just really naturally, I think that that's really good. Like even if it's just a matter of, you're making dinner, but you're just putting a different spin on it. I
Mhm.
think can be really really kind of helpful. Um, I do like the cooking thing. I try cooking different random things. But then I do the whole like for a while I got into like and I still do like the vanilla making and or extract making and like the vanilla sugar. So I love
Mhm.
things that are like big bang for like a little bit of work. I also find that I enjoy purchasing things so that I can start a new hobby. But yeah, yeah. So that's really great. If at any point in time anybody like anything comes back into fashion and I want to try it, I probably have the equipment to do it, which is really nice. But it is really nice when you have people around you who aren't like really judgmental,
Mm.
who really really get the whole idea of like the creative process. And I follow a ton of people on like TikTok, or things are always coming up on my Instagram feed of people like, like women who get together, whether you go away for like a girls' weekend or whatever. And the new thing is just having time and getting together, maybe at an Airbnb where everyone just sits and reads.
Mm-hmm.
And like you do your own individual activities, which are like maybe like read or work on a craft or whatever, but then people get together and they craft. And I think that that's really so much fun, because I mean, it's nice to get all dressed up and go out, and if that's what brings you joy, that's fantastic too. But I do think that it kind of honors this idea that maybe getting dressed up and going out for the evening isn't for everyone. So this
Mm-hmm.
is also another way of having fun, you know. So I really
Yeah,
love that.
I feel like people sometimes they don't want to say that they don't like that type of socializing. So this is kind of like I've had a lot of friends come to me. Like my bachelorette party was pretty much that. Like we all sat in the Poconos and we like had books and crafts and hot tubs and wine and things like that. But I think a lot of people feel awkward being like, I don't really like, especially I'm 27, so like now people are starting to come out of the bars or that scene. So I have friends that are like, wow, like I kind of would love a weekend in where like I don't have to put my contacts in, like we could sit on your couch.
Yeah.
So I think it's yeah, it honors like the homebody. It gives them like a place to socialize and a way to do it that is fun for them as well. I love creativity.
I like the idea of no pressure too. Like you don't have to wear
Mm.
your hair, your makeup, your outfit, all that kind of stuff. You could put it in craft supplies. Oh,
You can actually
That-
hear each other. There's no mute. Like you can talk.
yeah.
Right?
Not just
What?
on 105.
Yeah, why don't we group read? Like, why is that not a thing?
Mhm.
Like, instead of, socializing, we can all just sit and read. Because people don't read as much, I guess, as they used to. I'm starting to find some more, but for a while, I was like the only reader in my
Mhm.
like age group and like social circles. But now I'm finding some more cheer moms that read, so that's cool.
I think a lot of people are trying to find their thing, trying to find something that's going to work for them. And I think, like Christine had mentioned with the cooking, you already have this thing you have to do. Like you're either ordering out, ordering in whatever, or cooking pretty regularly. So I think using some of those outlets of things you have to do, even like laundry. Haley and I got together and we made laundry detergent. We made it our own laundry detergent, and it's been working really good. And like that was very creative to do that. And plus it saved us a ton of money.
And it does work too. I feel like that homemade laundry detergent does work.
Yeah, there's just like a sense of accomplishment when you created something. You're like, this is my laundry. Like I feel like that about all my. You're like, I can't believe I did that.
Or look, I look at the.
It's like a confidence boost. Yeah.
I made food for a cash bash, and I was like, look at we fed like 300 people, and I was like, look, I did that. It is
Mhm.
like
You're like,
like
wow.
I do like to cook. I'm always trying to find something new. And then for like the girls cheer teams, I'm always like looking for some kind of new motivational gift. So over the weekend, my husband, who's like cricket master, cut all of these things and we made these cool door knockers. I wish I had it to show you. But I like to do that kind of stuff too. That's a good
Mhm.
I didn't think about anything else while I was doing it. It wasn't like
Mhm.
with the job that we have or just the stress of the world, things like that, I have trouble turning my brain off. And like for the whole weekend, I didn't think about anything work related. I didn't think about anything else. Just I wanted these to look pretty, and then they did when we were done. So it was helpful to like not have brain mush
Mhm.
for the weekend.
And I mean, I think that that's really it. I think that when you're creating something, even I have always said the best day for me is any day I get to color.
Mhm.
So sit down with the kids and color, or send the kids to bed and color. But just when you're kind of focusing on that, even if the TV's on in the background, or whatever, I think that you don't even realize how much you don't pay any attention to anything else. You're just being creative. So I think that it's really nice because it is hard, even, coloring, drawing, writing, creating, whatever. I think that it just uses a different part of your brain
Mhm.
that just helps you kind of put everything else off to the side. And I think if you're feeling like you're having a hard time, like you're feeling stuck about getting started, just whether it's maybe writing a couple sentences,
Mhm.
jotting a couple things in your journal, or doing a quick sketch, or making, like, imagining what a project would be and making a list of things to gather up. I think that all of that could be really, really helpful. Um, the other thing is, like, if you have one of those really picky kiddos, and you're thinking like, oh yeah, well, I can't, I'm stuck making the same like six things because the kids in my house will only eat like chicken nuggets and spaghetti or whatever. You can always, you know, put their piece off to the side and then kind of get creative with your own bit. Or I love the idea of people say that their kiddos don't want to eat leftovers, and if that's their thing, then that's fine. But reimagining last night's dinner
Mhm.
into something else. So, any way that you could just try and stretch your imagination and think outside of the box, I think is just really fun
And
and valuable.
I think we're all so stressed a great deal of the time. I find myself that I hold my shoulders up and I
Mhm.
like physically tell myself, lower your shoulders. When I'm doing something creative, I'm not thinking about that. I don't have to lower my shoulders. It just grounds me enough. I'm not worried about the million things we all got going on that we're worried about. Um, and I know it's easier said than done trying to do self care.
Mhm.
But I think if we use the navigation of doing something creative, no matter what that looks like for you, it is a stress reliever. It is self care for you. It's something that's just for you to kind of let go, relax, and whatever the outcome, whatever it looks like, or however it turned out, it doesn't really matter. You took some time and you got to do something that was enjoyable. I think we forget we're allowed to enjoy life too. We don't have to just
Mhm.
nose down and keep going and going and going.
I know when thinking about my oldest, when she was young, my best friend used to come over. And I mean, this was like way back in the day when like HGTV was like new, and they used to have like actual crafters on. And we used to I would record this one show, and she'd come over and we just like lay on the floor and watch the week's worth of episodes, and just like do our running commentary. Oh, that's like really cool. Oh, that would be neat if we this or that. Like, I don't know that we ever actually did any of the crafts, but just a different way of getting your mind to expand and to think and see things in a different perspective, I think was really kind of restful for us.
Mhm. Yeah, I find creativity very relaxing. Like you said, it's hard to fit it into your day, but sometimes, like, if we're already watching a movie that, like, my husband picked and maybe I'm not, like, so into, I'll just have, like, my markers in front of me, or if we're watching, like, something silly, like a sports game or, like, the Olympic, something that, like, I'm half tuning into, I find, like, in front of TV, creativity is also great. You can, like, just creativity is, like, creating your own little bubble, like we've talked about the whole time, but then you can just, like, kinda create a bubble next to someone else. Then they feel like you're hanging out with them, but you're doing your own thing.
Well, coloring I feel like is almost mindless. Like, as
Mhm.
like colored pencils to those like little like designs, like the mandalas and those kinds of things. I had to take that strength based class, and they were very long days. It would be like 8 hours to listen to somebody talk. So I colored a whole bunch. Like, I think I got through like 3 coloring books because I was listening. But you can only, if I'm an adult with ADHD, I can only sit still
Mhm.
for so long. And so I that kept my hands busy. That and like playing with stuff, slime, those kinds of things, just to keep myself busy so I could pay attention. So the coloring and stuff is great, just
Mm-hmm.
on its own, just so that you can tune into something else that you need to be focused on.
Mm-hmm. I've also found that even more intentionally creativity has tied to my mental health. My therapist gave me this assignment to paint my anxiety, which was like I highly recommend to anybody who has like a feeling that they're not so sure about how it feels. She assigned it to me and I thought about it for a couple of days. I was like, does my anxiety feel like a tunnel? Does it feel like a dark cloud? What does it feel like to me? And I was literally like tearing up as I was painting it. Like I found it really like it was kind of like unpacking some things, and like now every time when I picture my anxiety, it's literally the painting I made and I'm like, no, the cloud can leave. Like get out of here. So I thought that was a really cool, if your child is struggling with maybe like how do you feel at school when you're like what does math class feel like for you? Like you can use creativity to help a child who's maybe more visual express themselves. And I really liked I was like, you kind of killed that assignment, therapist. I was like, wow. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah, but I love that.
Yeah, I was like, that was so me.
Right?
And I don't think that people talk a lot about this. So, when you talk about rest and you talk about burnout and stuff, I don't think people talk enough about the idea of the different types of rest. And I had read this article about someone, who had a busy day or busy week, and they spent like the entire weekend like sleeping, trying to catch up on their rest, but then Monday morning they didn't necessarily feel any more rested. And it was because they had all that ball of stress and anxiety in them, and it might have been better for them to do something more active.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that idea of using creativity could be one of those forms of trying to give yourself a break. So
Mm-hmm.
it's fine if it's like you want to jot down like a couple thoughts. If you want to write out a story where you're the customer who like yelled at you, something like you told them what you wanted to tell them, or how does the story end with you being the superhero, and write your own, like fan fiction about your life and how you got to say what you wanted to say or whatever, or draw your anxiety, or just do something fun. I think that could be a really good way of expressing yourself and being more
Mm-hmm.
active, especially for so many of us who, when the kids go to sleep at night, you're stuck in the house. Like the kids are asleep or the kids are doing an activity, but you can't leave the house and go to the gym, or it's you live on a dirt road, and so you can't take the kids for a walk or a bike ride because everybody will come home covered in mud. So maybe that's something to kind of think about. I have our picture behind us on the oh no, that one. I have it on the other. Oh, I have it right here. My yellow one. Yeah, from when we did our staff retreat. And I loved this. It was on Instagram. How long ago now?
Mm-hmm.
And you just take a canvas and everybody gets to paint for 5 minutes, and then you shift it to the next person. And when it comes back around to you, you have a fully formed picture, which could be wonky, it could be funny, it could be whatever. But it's this way. It takes the pressure off creating a whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
And up high, I actually did that with my kids at Christmas. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna do this," and they were all like,
No, it's so fun. It's fun. Well, my daughter's cheer team, they just had team bonding yesterday, and they passed out canvases and then they drew names, and they had to draw their like depiction of like a teammate, and it stressed my oldest daughter out so bad. I mean, so bad. Hers ended up being cute. The one that she got of herself though was so cute. She glued to it and like made it actually like I don't know, they did a good job. And so it stressed my kid out, but the other kids really enjoyed it.
People really stress out about creativity. I've taught a couple of classes and people are like they get in there and they're shaking. They're like, this is so not me. Like I'm just trying to support you. Like I can't believe I'm here. And I'm like, I really appreciate it. Just sit down. You'll be fine.
It's
And
really
then
hard.
like they start to build confidence through the class, but people really are. I was like, no, I don't mean this offensively. You're not Picasso. I'm not Picasso. Nobody's buying your painting. Like we are good. Like let's take the pressure
Our
off.
friend, our friend Alana had her. I have it. I can show it to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's see it.
Aw.
Oh, that's adorable.
It has a cowboy boot on it and a crown and ducks because she loves rubber ducks. And it says "I love Zach Bryan" on her T-shirt because that's like her favorite like musician. They had to guess who was who. They went to hibachi dinner and then they held everybody up
That's
and they had to
so
guess
cute.
who painted it and who was who. But everyone guessed that was AJ because of like the cowboy boot and the crown and the Zach Bryan. So Alana did a really good job. That was the little girl that had AJ's. AJ had her friend McKenna. Hers was good, but she took it too seriously. Like where Alana's goofy, it had googly eyes and stuff. AJ was watching like YouTube videos trying to draw her properly.
Yeah. Drawing a person's really hard.
She said that. She's like, this is so hard. She's
Yeah, I
like,
didn't draw people.
it stressed her out. I mean, she did. She was rough all weekend trying to make this canvas.
That's why I like the whole pass the canvas around,
Mhm.
because everybody can it's a part of everyone then. And then your one little part, you may not even notice what your part was, but it takes the pressure off too. Because nobody has control of the picture.
Mhm.
Like you could start it with one thing in mind and it comes back to you a whole different beast.
Right. Like there's a Christmas tree on my beach and I love it. That's so fun. I love Christmas and the beach.
I love mine too. It's still up even though it has a Christmas tree on it as well. It's still like on the window, still in my kitchen, just because it's so cute. It's got a black cat, my favorite. I loved it. So, and it makes me think of all of you guys. So it's still in my, so it's no longer Christmas.
Yeah, paintings are like a little time capsule like that. Like I have a painting for my bachelorette party. Now I think of like the memory. So yeah.
I know, Melissa, you do like a lot of stuff. Like you like in the summer, you grow herbs. I know that. Melissa one year gave me homemade mustard.
Oh,
Ooh.
I love
I
that.
know, so good.
Wow.
But that's also kind of a nice thing that's like can be really creative, that can be fun over time. Get grow all the herbs, mix them together, make yourself different seasonings and stuff. So I mean, like a lot of this stuff, I don't think that maybe we think about what we do day in day out and how that is creative or can be creative for us. So there may be ways to work a little bit of creativity into your day, into your week, into your month, and just kind of take that shot, see how things work out.
Yeah, and I think like when people get nervous about it, they're expecting perfection. Like if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it perfectly. It's like don't even put that anywhere near there. Just do something. And whatever it looks like, it's gonna be wonderful. We're not getting critiqued, we're not getting grades on it. You don't even have to like Chrissy does all this writing. She doesn't share with anybody. It's for her personally. So she don't have to worry about, well, so and so might read this and think it's about them, or anything like that. You could just let go. Just let go, and whatever it turns out, it'll be great.
And whatever it is that's, I think that is a break for you, I think that is the most important thing. So what if you try writing something and it doesn't make any sense, or if you try drawing something and you know, somebody's like, well, that's a nice horse. And you're like, oh, that's like a family picture or self-portrait, right? like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's more the journey than the destination, and just giving yourself the maybe draw something or write something, knowing that it's not going to be perfect, that it's not going to be good, but it's a start.
Yeah. And I
I
often
don't
think
pay
that
attention
you
to grant.
go ahead, Chris.
But
Oh no,
Chrissy,
you're I don't even pay attention to grammar when I'm writing those kinds of things. I just want to take the story from the beginning to the end. Like, I don't care because it's never going to see the light of day. But it gets me outside of my own head for a minute, and I come back feeling like a human again because you start to feel like a robot, I think, sometimes when you're anxious and stressed. And
Definitely. And it builds up and builds up. If we don't have some kind of outlet, there's a lot of different things people can do. I often think I want to go on top of a hill and just scream, just scream sometimes, just let it all out. But you can do the same thing with creativity. Just let it out and put it on the page, put it on the canvas, in the dirt with your plants.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really great idea. Just let it out. I know when my oldest was really young, I used to do crafty kind of things, and then as life got busier and busier, the craft stopped because I was so focused on my kids' activities. And I think if I could go back and tell myself anything, it would be don't do that. Now I was a huge, always a huge reader. So maybe my ideas just kind of morphed into something different. But definitely to be, artistic, even if it didn't look good. I think that's really helpful because it's been a while. It's been like a bit of a road for me to get back into doing some crafty kinds of things. And when I'm surrounded by so many very crafty people,
It's
between you
contagious.
all,
Creativity,
it is.
you can't stop.
Well, I judge myself against Stephanie and all of her beautiful creations when she's like doing these like really intricate cookies and and stuff. So beautiful and tasty. I mean, that's kind of tough to compete with, but it's not a competition, you know? It's like she bakes and I bake in a different way. It's not nearly as pretty. So ladies, any final thoughts for everyone?
I agree with I'm sorry. I agree with Melissa. Just put something on the canvas, the page, the whatever the garden. Just start from somewhere, and you'll keep giving yourself the allowance to like keep carving out the time, however that works for you. And I think you'll be surprised at how it like snowballs into something.
I think of Christina had said to me when I first started working here, don't let perfection get in your way. Like, do what you're doing. We can fix things, we'll work on things, but like, don't let it hang you up. Don't get hung up on it. So you end up not getting anything done because you're trying to do everything perfectly. It's not. So I often think of that. Like, it don't gotta be perfect. Just moving.
that is very good advice because sometimes it's hard to get started. So that's, if you know it doesn't have to be perfect, then that's a good way to start, I think.
Takes the pressure off. Well, we'd love to hear from our audience what everybody does to get out their creativity. Share it with us. Share your pictures with us in the comments. Maybe we'll post some of ours in the comments when we post our podcast. You guys could let us know what you think and what you do to be creative. We'd definitely love to hear it. But thanks so much for spending time with us today, everybody. And ladies, as always, thanks for hanging out. It's a joy getting to hang out with everybody every so often. And have a great day.
You too. Thank you.